What's up everyone, Lion Roar here, and we have some killer new costumes in the costume chamber. It is the second time we're seeing legendary costumes for Leonidas, Joon, and Quintus. I'm excited to break them down and give them some grades. But first, download Gemstone Legends, a mobile RPG puzzle match game. Use the link in the description to start with free stuff, including a bonus hero. Alright, today I'm going to cover the new legendary costumes that just dropped in the costume chamber. First up, we have Leonidas, who is a 5-star holy hero of the Ranger class. Not one of the best classes, but not terrible either. Classic family heroes become stronger when teamed with other unique heroes of the same family, so the classic family heroes need to be fully ascended to receive this family bonus, meaning you can't have partially leveled heroes if you're going to try to play with them together and get the bonus. There's a bonus for a fully ascended 2, 3, 4, or 5 heroes of 1, 3, 5, or 7% attack, defense, and healing, which is all pretty good. On a class level 20, all of the class talents of this hero are upgraded into a superior class talent. All right. So costume bonus too. Costume bonus permanently increases the stats of the hero and the other costumes. Costume bonus can be increased by ascending and fully leveling up a costume. Again, I'm only going to read through this once because this is going to be the same on all of these, but I want to make sure you know this because it's going to affect these particular stats as well. So the costume bonus is increased further with an additional costume that are fully leveled up, an attack increase of 15%, defense bonus of 15%, health bonus of 20%, which is quite a lot, and a mana bonus of 5%. So not only do you get bonuses for putting costumed heroes together, you get a bonus for having the costumes, which is really, really great. And that mana bonus definitely comes in handy. That's my favorite part about the costumes. All right, so taking a look at the stats here, I do want to point out that I have the max power on. It's in the upper left-hand corner here. I can turn it off. I do want to review the heroes with the max power on, though, because, I mean, the question is, like, is it worth getting this hero and maxing it out, right? So we want to look at that. But here it is with the stats off. 718 attack, 727 defense, and 1236 HP. Of course, you know, depending on what route you go with the talents, you can get up to like 991 attack, 999 defense, and 1717 HP. Those are pretty high attack and defense stats. That looks good. Spartan Slash is the special at average speed, but please remember that mana bonus increase, and especially with mana troops, are going to make this guy go off basically at fast speed. Not exactly fast speed, but basically. He deals 240% damage to all enemies, reduces the mana of all enemies by 10%, which is cool. We don't see this effect much anymore on heroes, and that's because way back in the day, Guinevere, also a holy hero, really caused a lot of problems on defense, was by far the best tank for the longest time, and then they stayed away from this effect for a while. All enemies get negative 34% defense for 3 turns. Against dark characters, this status effect becomes uncleansable and lasts 2 turns longer. Okay, there is a lot I like about this particular special. And I think that this makes Leonidas a really, at least the potential for being a really, really good defensive hero. At tank, or perhaps even at flank, because of that average speed, and especially with the costume bonus of for mana and putting mana troops on it, you can get this guy to go off pretty quickly, even in a flank spot. So if you're running purple tanks, you want to run Leo as like a left flank, I think that would be a really, really good idea. Guinevere sort of fell out of favor because even though the special was very strong, eventually she got overtaken by other heroes in the meta. We used to have yellow tanks all over the place, and it moved and shifted away to purple. And so now here we see a hero that can be used at tank or flank. Guinevere wasn't really good at flank, but Leonidas is going to be because of this defense debuff that he's got going on. So can you imagine having a really strong purple tank? Pick any of the purple tanks, quite frankly, but having a really strong purple tank with Leo as a yellow hero backing that up, then coming out and reducing the opponent's mana and giving them defense down. So now they're not able to fire as quickly. and your team can deal more damage. So if you put together the right synergy of big AoE damage dealers right after that, I'm thinking like I have Octros as a big damage dealer. There's plenty. Khufu, is a big one that's out there right now. Follow it up with that, and you're just going to smash the team. Keep them from firing, and then smash them, right? But this works on offense too. Now, it's not quite as good on offense as people found out with Guinevere, who tried to use her. She was a healer. When you take her on offense, you would pause them for like maybe a turn, but then they would just go off again anyway. So this is much, much better as a defensive effect than an offensive effect. And yet, Leo is a lot better on offense than Guinevere was too. Because taking Leo on offense means that you're going to be able to give that defense down and just crush the opponent. And you might be able to keep them off a turn, to keep them off their special. So I think he's going to be really, really good on both. Definitely in raids and war, doesn't matter. Very fast. War is going to be just as good. Same thing for tournaments. In fact, this is an excellent hero for tournaments and for events. Just think about, when you're trying to put together a good team of synergy for an event where you can give the whole other side defense down and then just crush them with all your other specials. So, potentially even a good Titan hero. I mean, anytime you get this defense down, you can use it in so many places. The fact that he gives it to everybody and can give it to the Titan, and he's got that high tile damage with the high attack stat, is really, really good. So as you can tell, I'm gushing over Leo. I don't really see any weaknesses here. The 240% damage is like, okay, like that's okay, but that's not the main thing going on here. He's going to be disruptive and he's going to defeat the other team. So for that reason, I'm going to give Leo an A. I am super jealous of anybody who gets Leo. I had wanted the first costume that came out for the longest time, and I finally got him out of the Hero Academy just to see this one come out that's even better. This one's excellent. Please let me know in the comments if you get him and you enjoy him. Next up, we have Joon, who is another 5-star holy hero, this time of the Barbarian class, not the greatest class. Getting the classic family bonus and the costume bonus. Max preview is on right now, so let's turn it off. He's got 753 attack, 640 defense, which is not great, and 1320 HP. When we turn the max power preview on, you can see that attack goes way up to 1008. The defense is 829 and the HP is 1919. You would definitely want to beef up that defense a little bit if you're going to get this costume, because you need Joon to be able to survive. But he is a very offensive type of hero with that attack. So you do want to go like defense attack, I would think. Stellar Beam is the special at fast speed, going even faster with the mana bonuses. Deals 260% damage to the target and nearby enemies. The target and nearby enemies receive 228 burn damage over 3 turns. And the target and nearby enemies get negative 35% accuracy for 3 turns. All right, well, there's a high attack stat, but 260% just to a target and nearby enemies is not a lot of damage. I mean, it's going to be made more by the attack stat, but he does deal some status effect damage with that burn damage. And then, of course, the main thing and the theme with Joon all along has been the, throwing off the accuracy, negative 35% accuracy for 3 turns. And we've seen heroes like this before, so this is actually not a very unique effect except for the addition of burn to it. Drake Drake, another 5-star holy hero, and Dr. Moreau, they also kind of have this hit 3 heroes and blind them effect, and they had been good in the past. They still see some use, but they're probably not your first choice if you don't have to use them. I just think, I wish what I saw in here was a little more direct damage. I'm going to tell you one thing that's making me not absolutely love this effect, even though he's hitting 3 and blinding them now instead of just 1. And that is that you don't often get to actually hit the 3. Think about it. If you put him on defense, and he's fighting against an opponent, as soon as one of the heroes on the attacking team dies, if the AI picks one of the heroes on the end or one of the heroes next to a hero that's already been defeated, then he's only ever going to hit 2. In fact, most of the time he's probably only going to hit 2. And if you're attacking on offense, you have more control over that. So you're probably really maybe not using him on defense as much as you're using him on offense. On offense, though, you still have the problem of once you like knock the tank out, you can only ever hit 2 heroes with him. So you maybe get 1 chance per match where you get to hit 2, and he's not going to kill anyone, and he's only going to slow them down for a little bit and blind them. So while I think the special is good, it's definitely not overpowered or even great. I think this kind of effect has been passed by in Empires and Puzzles, and the sniper version that only hits 1 at least deals a ton of damage to 1 hero, because the name of the game is to defeat opposing heroes, right? And a sniper that can deal a ton of damage and kill them, well, you don't even worry about the blind anymore. You just get rid of the hero, right? Now, for the sniper version, you don't often anymore actually get to kill the hero, so the blind comes in useful if you don't, but killing him is ideal. You can really never do that with Joon, and oftentimes you're only hitting 2 heroes and not taking full advantage of that direct damage. So I don't love Joon, but I don't think he's bad either. I think you're mainly going to use him on offense. You can use him on defense if you have nothing better than this. You're probably not using him a ton in events or anything like that. Maybe in tournaments. It just kind of depends. So for this reason, I'm going to give Joon a B-, because I think he's serviceable, and I think you can probably find a place to use him in one of your 6 war teams, potentially. It depends on how many heroes you have. But he wouldn't be my first choice on really any scenario. And last but certainly not least is costume Quintus, a 5-star purple hero of the Druid class. I do think the Druid class is a little underrated. I kind of like that one. And I can't even really explain why. I enjoy whenever it triggers, and I feel like it gives a little more survivability, especially to a hero like Quintus, who's been known to be a little fragile in the past, so that does help. Of course, there's the classic family bonus and the costume bonus. Let's take a look at the attack. Let's turn the max power off for a moment. 753 attack, 644 defense. That's what I'm talking about. Quintus has traditionally been very, very fragile. That's like a 4-star hero type of stat right there. So that really worries me. And then 1349 HP. Again, that's kind of weak for a 5-star hero. So he is a glass cannon hero, lots of attack, but not much survivability there. If we turn the max power back on, I would probably go defense and then secondarily attack with him when giving him talents. You can get the attack up to 993 and the defense up to 834 with an HP of 1976. Lightning Ultimatum is the special at slow speed. I don't love slow, but the mana bonus, the mana increase does kind of help with this, and you can actually get it, especially if you use mana troops, up pretty good, so that you can sort of alleviate the problem with slow heroes a bit. He deals 300% damage to the target and nearby enemies. Again, with the hitting the target nearby enemies, the drawback is you're often only hitting 2 heroes at best, so there is that consideration. Then the target and nearby enemies automatically cast mindless attack on a random ally when mana is full at the start of a turn during 4 turns. Now that's what I'm talking about. That's an extremely powerful type of special. And we've seen that on Alfreak, of course. And so Alfreak has the potential to hit the entire team, but often will only hit a few. I mean, when I'm playing against Alfreak, she seems to hit everybody, but that's just me. I don't know if you've had the same experience or not. Quintus is guaranteed to only hit the target nearby heroes, which again means if they're missing one, you're only hitting 2. So, there's kind of a trade-off here because Quintus is slow, not very slow like Alfreak is. So he should theoretically go off more, especially since he's getting a lot more mana bonuses here. So that's something to consider as well. There's some things here that are a little better on Quintus than they are on Alfreak, and vice versa. I kind of like to have Alfreak's effect of, dealing that damage and shrinking health and the mindless attack because you get guaranteed hits with Alfreak on the heroes that remain, and you will miss out on some with Quintus. So I still prefer Alfreak's effect a little more, but Quintus does go off faster. So let's talk about where we're going to see Quintus. We're going to see Quintus definitely on defense, and especially for people who don't have Alfreak. Like, if they get costume Quintus, they're probably going to want to slot him in at tank, especially during those very fast wars and tournaments. But I'll tell you what, because he's a little bit faster, you could potentially slide him in at tank, even in regular situations. Some people use Alfreak in regular situations, but she's just so slow because she's very slow. He's going to be a lot faster. So you might actually see him start to show up more in regular situations. Do I think he's the best tank that there is? Ooh, I don't know. I think he's up there. I think he's going to end up being up there, but I have some concerns. So one concern is how low that defense is, and I think they did it on purpose because you kind of need to be able to get rid of this guy easily or he's going to take over the game. So, yellow tiles can definitely kill him if you stack yellow. With that low defense, he's probably not going to survive that. But if you try to attack this guy and you get a bad board and he starts going off, he's going to disable half your team for a while. And especially if he really gets going because his mana's faster and tiles are hitting him and stuff. And you know how fast a freak goes off already, right? Now, in the very fast wars, of course, it's the same no matter what. But in regular situations, when people use her, she still seems to go off and like wreck your day if you don't have a good board. And now Quintus is going to go off even faster. So I don't know that I can call him the best tank right now because he's not very tanky. I think that he is worth experimenting with and using, and I could potentially see a situation in which he is all over the board on defenses, especially the ones that don't have Alfreak or one of the like absolutely top tier tanks, and he might even replace some of those. I'm not sure. We'll just have to see how disruptive and annoying he is. I don't think he's like super overpowered though. I mean, if Alfreak isn't overpowered, I mean, she used to be. Maybe not so much anymore. So if she's not, then he probably isn't either, especially because he's hitting a target and nearby enemies. Oftentimes it's only going to be 2 heroes, unlike Alfreak's much more. So in very fast wars and tournaments, I think I would still use Alfreak instead of Quintus. But in regular raids and wars, then yeah, I would use Quintus. It just kind of depends on what else you have, though. So for that reason, I'm going to give Quintus an A. We're going to have to see how he pans out. I could potentially see changing that grade in the future. If he just can't last on the board because of the low defense stat, I might have to bump him down. Or maybe because he's only hitting 2 often instead of more, I might have to bump the grade down. But for now, I think he's solid A. So we'll go with that. But this is, of course, just speculation. Let me know in the comments what you think and what grades you would give. And if you enjoy videos like this, make sure to hit like and subscribe so that you know when I drop new videos. And I will catch you in the next one.